bit sick every time I say it, but I still really want to say it again.
You know, sometimes we do things that hurt us.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, it's daring. It's challenging ourselves.
I don't think that's what it is. Okay, Yone going to be banned away here as we jump into the draft for game number 1 here. Another LCK Roadshow. We are spoiled. 2 days ago, we had that incredible win for T1 over Gen G in very similar situation. And we are now back once again with the new challenges.
Crazy. I think NONGSHIM, given the fact that Yone and Keria, which happen to be good matchups into Azir, I get the feeling they're probably going to ban Azir here.
No, they're going to ban Varus.
Surely.
They're going to ban Varus.
If they ban, I mean, leaving Varus open is bad.
It's PvV.
If they ban Varus, it's Azir first pick. No, they banned Azir. They had to ban Azir.
So much better, yeah.
They had to ban it. There's no way. I mean, the Yone and the Keria was such like a setup.
Well, now I'm going to ride in Varus. Should I ride in Varus? I should ride in Varus. Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a Varus. I mean, I feel like T1, this is a good use of blue side where, you know, those bans on red side feel so like telegraphed, so locked in. You end up in this situation where, you know, they're forced to give up an OP because they have to respect just setting up for the Azir.
Speaking of OP, though, I mean, this is a pretty good combo in the Wukong and the Rumble. Wukong has seen so much success. I wouldn't have even blamed T1 for first picking Wukong in this scenario. Instead, of course, the Varus, very high priority. Wukong really has been surging. So I think what NONGSHIM have got here is good. Is it worth giving the Varus? Maybe not.
And I think T1 could just go like Gwen Xin Zhao potentially in this situation. Definitely some options. Well,
Gwen Annie?
Could do.
They do really like Annie.
Aurora's still open, but I feel like when you've already picked it, I feel like it's a bit weaker if you're not going to use the Aurora as a flex option. Like, they could have gone the Aurora into the Rumble as well, but they end up going for the Gwen, for Doran, and actually going for the Rise instead for Faker. A lot of mid laners banned, prioritizing that, letting Oner's pick go to the second rotation.
Kind of crazy. I wonder what Oner's plan is going to be, as the Victor is being considered here for Calyx. Man, the Kali would be fun. Don't know whether it'd be good, but it definitely would be fun.
You know, I'm kind of tired of seeing the Cassiopeia again and again and again into the Rise, so I'm hoping we're not going to get that, and it looks like we're not going to.
Victor or Orianna would be kind of cool too, because then you get the Cyclone Shockwave. But instead, it's just going to be the Ahri, and that will be a pretty good 1-2 punch. Ahri Wukong has worked out relatively well in the past.
A lot of dive, a lot of team fight power coming out from NONGSHIM with these 3 picks. And we'll ban their Xin Zhao to no real surprise to anyone.
Nope.
I think for T1, I think Rakan could be worth a ban here. They end up taking away the Jhin first and foremost. I think especially into the Varus, seen it a lot, and also has that long range to follow up and all that engage.
Poppy might be a consideration, as never mind, it will be Renata taken away. Of course, something that Keria has been fantastic on in the past.
Just kind of react to comp a decent amount.
We have to remember it's Lehens, so if a Shen ban comes through here, we may not be too confused about it.
Yeah, there's still a lot in the air that you could ban in terms of 80 carries or supports. I mean,
Alistar,
Rakan, I think are both fine bans.
There it is.
It's also, I feel like it's dangerous because Rakan fits with the comp of NONGSHIM really well, but you're blinding like Rakan into Varus plus whatever Keria wants to pick, which is dangerous.
We do have someone in chat saying that Teemo, Fiddlesticks, and Yuumi are all open, which I think is very valid because that is true.
Yeah. Civer, we've seen a decent amount as an answer into Varus. Can obviously Spell Shield the poke, match the wave clear a decent amount. And also that movement speed for when you get the team fights. If you end up picking the Rakan with that, if you have a comfortable lane, I think this is a really strong team fight comp from NONGSHIM.
I do think On the Hunt and Cyclone together are actually really, really powerful. Something like, you know how sometimes you have those moments where you press Cyclone, you're just not there yet? If you have On the Hunt, you just catch up very, very comfortably. Jarvan is going to be up here, though, as, of course, it was only the Xin Zhao taken away. There is still another Demacian prince here. And the Poppy is something that I was going to mention as well. That will be locked in here for Keria. Not necessarily a massive amount of lane control, but has so much value into this composition on NONGSHIM's side.
I think because T1 have really good neutral state where like you have the poke from the Varus, you know, you have the threat of like the Rise, you can also provide some of that poke and the Gwen can get that on the flank. I also think it makes the Rakan really hard to play into. Nautilus is often picked up as the answer to Poppy instead, out of all the engaged supports.
Okay, let's get into the Rift. Game number 1. Oh, I got baited because I thought it was going to be fan chance, but the fan chance never happened in the right timing when it's the home ground. So that was a little bit awkward. Oh wait, hang on. We had them. They're on. Was that the T1 one that came second? I think the crowd mics in our ears particularly are a little bit quiet, so just have to figure it out there. But at least we did get some fan chants. And I think the Nong Shim fan chants were actually pretty loud. I think maybe there is a relatively even distribution. And do you know what the best part is? If Nong Shim looks around, right, the colors in the arena are red. Right? And so...
You know what's crazy? Our first series was blue vs blue.
Right?
And this one's red vs red.
Exactly. And so now they can look anywhere in the arena and feel like there's people that want them to win.
Maybe
so
wear glasses,
feel better.
take them off,
Yep.
so lower your vision a bit.
Perfect.
Feel better about it.
It's absolutely amazing. It will stop you from being able to see the game very well, which may hinder being able to do stuff. But maybe just don't wear them when you're walking your way in.
Well, that could be better if you start to fall behind.
True. Could it, though?
You know, if the team's losing, maybe you
got some aggression here as Gumayusi laying some damage down towards Jiu as they do get themselves into this brush. Man, this is very, very bad for Nong Shim, as level 2 will be hit very, very soon.
Also to note, Jiwoo went Ghost. You know, both supports actually went Ignite. We've seen a lot more heal from supports here, but both going for the aggressive summoner. And Jiwoo going Ghost while Guma has barrier, so this low health bar of the Civer is a lot more severe than it looks at first glance.
And also it's Hail of Blades on Gumayusi as well, so it's so much more early damage with like these level 1s. I feel like Hail of Blades is so powerful.
Yeah, you have a bit less poke with the abilities, but you saw that first trade, he got the 3 autos in, and immediately Jiu was like, oh lord.
Yep.
I'm suffering. And now Keria is threatening. It looked like he was just looking for an angle. If Jiu stepped a bit too close to the turret, he was going to slam him into the wall. But doesn't go for it. But either way, Jiu chunked out. Might even look for a reset here.
Yes, pretty catastrophic. 6 CS were missed by the Civer, as we have a 7 win streak here for Wukong. Wukong has been pretty good. See whether T1 will be able to knock down the monkey a notch.
I feel like, you know, Sundered Sky has been great for so many junglers, but the fact you have the empowered auto with extended range, and you're so slippery, I feel like you get so much value from it, on top of just his team fighting power.
True. What are we doing? Keria and Lehens, they're just hanging out. Keria just trying to make sure that Lehens doesn't get a cannon and then flashes.
You know what? This feels very Keria Lehens.
It was very Keria Lehens. I think maybe like they would have done that in a solo queue game, 100%. Maybe they forgot that this was actually an LCK game.
I feel like they're the sort of players who do in an LCK game anyway.
That's actually so true.
Yeah.
They would not really mind. But that was very silly.
Yeah, it was. I think he was just trying to...
The things that people do just to grab some tempo vibes, you know?
It's just so important. We've had so many... Oh, that was an attempt.
Yeah.
So many, like, back reset interactions. Like, we saw Faker walk up and stop Alex's reset. Guma was trying it there. Everyone's just fighting for these little advantages in the early game.
Well, so far, it is just a little bit of a lane swap here. Keria has the Hex Flash activated, so that's obviously why he flashed away from Lehens. Just wanted an excuse to use the button.
Yes, he didn't want to just flash in place because it looked suspicious, but he wanted his Hex Flash available. So
although he could have backed and then flashed to get to lane faster.
That's true.
Which is what I often do.
I believe it.
I feel like it's efficient. As Doran and Jiu, the ones that are going to be facing off now. Not necessarily the most fun for a Civer if the Gwen ever gets her needles in. But as you can see, Jiu just really wants to get this wave into an okay position. The exhaust goes down, and this is what I was saying. Jiu, no ghost. Will need to flash. It was a decent flash direction, but he's still going to be in range of those scissors, and it's a solo kill for Doran. I don't know what was expected to happen other than just death.
I feel like it's just a decision not to swap Jiu up to the top side. And I guess maybe because the lane into the Varus was a bit of a struggle, but this is an absolute disaster. You moved your Rumble away from the Gwen, a matchup we typically see favored. I'm getting a pause in, not sure.
And they're really cool. What about just an entire noodle pot? It's Gumayusi. He's going to be going down to about 50% Keria with the heroic charge. Get rid of Lehens, and that will at least keep Gumayusi alive for now. Doran teleports back towards the top side of the map. And he's probably just spent a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, he's probably feeling pretty great about himself right now, so...
I mean, Doran is kind of scary on Gwen after he's 0-3 to start the game. And yeah, he's level 6 now, and you can imagine Kingan's wondering what the heck happened.
We look at his inventory and compare it to Kingan.
Oh, he's
Kingan
so
has
learned.
an Amp
He's so
Tome,
learned, dude.
double Amp Tome, 2 stacked up. He had the Dark Seal before he killed him.
Oh, that is so
Oh, man. Well...
I don't know what we're going to do now. As Nong Shim.
You know those situations where you're like, it could be worse?
Yep.
I don't think it could. Kingan...
He could have killed him twice.
Yeah, that would be worse.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty unprecedented, though.
But I think the outcome would probably be very similar.
Yeah. Well, Kingan's definitely on the back foot in this matchup now. Do you see a TP coming out from Keria with the Spellbook?
Yep.
And we do see Gideon... Oh my god, you is...
Just turn back up. And
his average health this game has been like
20%.
Yeah. Yeah, which is... It's been a struggle so far.
Well, he's got a cull. Looking to cash that one in. Has actually kept that CS gap at about 6, although we are going to have another wave shoved in, so Gumayusi will be able to extend it. Back does now come on down as Geo. I would recommend shoes. No, crit cloak.
Oh, that is such a... No, yeah, don't... That is such a bad buy.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever been a bad buy in the history of League of Legends. The Equalizer is going to come on through here for Kingan, who's walking in odd direction. The needlework comes on through, and Doran is just having a great old time here in this top lane.
Yeah, honestly, some good dodges from Kingan, because I thought he was certainly dead. And Faker and Oner say, you know what? We'll take a free kill.
Yeah, they're going to look for it as Gideon wants to come on over, but unfortunately the monkey is a little too late, so he will slink back into the jungle. Oh, dearie me. That's a second kill for T1 as Keria's steadfast presence. Good timing wasn't necessary. That's only because Lahenz's anchor was a little off. As Geo, okay, let's see whether he can find this one as he does. Spell Shield, a decent amount of damage here. Gumayusi's ultimate not doing too much as the flash over the wall is going to come on through as Keria also going to get out of there. Thankfully had his flash back up and available again. But Nong Shim finding a great avenue in towards his bottom side when it really felt like T1 was starting to run away with the matchup.
Yeah, actually doing some good work there. Jiu getting good spell shield. The ult was blocked by Lahen, so wasn't able to pass on to Jiu. And ultimately, even with the Halo Blades, there's not that much DPS from Guma in these 2v2s, whereas Jiu can just keep pumping damage.
Faker coming on over here as Gideon does smite, even though it's on 48 health. There's the exhaust down onto Calyx. Cyclone comes on through though as Doran. I know you're really strong, but you're not quite 1v3 strong just yet, as it's going to be another grub to be taken here. NONGSHIM will be able to lock that one down. Now Warrior Trickster and Spirit Rush are going to be able to get these two over the wall, and instead it's actually Gideon having to flash. Warrior Trickster not quite up again. So we'll have to invest the Summoner spell, but still it's going to be 2 grubs out of the 3 over to NONGSHIM.
Definitely felt like a waiting for cooldown moment there from Gideon. Unfortunately, he was forced to flash over.
Must have been so close to it as well. It's a bit of a shame. But as soon as you see Poppy, it's like you have to just flash.
Yeah, just when things were starting to feel a little bit doomed though, right? They get the kill on Doran, they get some Summoner's Bit in the bot side, showing some strength in the 2v2. They get the 2 grubs. Not all doom and gloom.
Yeah.
NONGSHIM.
Honestly, feel like they are focusing on the noodle pot, you know, that's looming over them right now. Helps them feel at home.
They're brewing up something good.
Yep, that's what I would assume here. As we're going to have a look at this fight one more time. Doran just really was feeling himself. You can understand why in this game, but probably shouldn't have been.
Just a little rushed, you know, and a bit overconfident. I think as well the fact that Kingan got that gold, the lead in the top lane was very significant, and the fact that he now has that, all the Dark Seal stacks are gone, that top lane matchup feels so much more stable now. Oh, Charm miss. We'll say he wanted to hit the minion.
Okay, well, we've got Doran back in lane once again. We need a little bit less Doran and maybe a little bit more door walk. You know, like he's running. He's going a bit too fast. Can you slow it down?
Yeah, yeah.
That's maybe a different reference than that, but that's sort of where I'm thinking. As he is just going to be dashing after Kingan. Still going to be way ahead of this Rumble. I say way ahead. 200 gold isn't really that much. It should still have an advantage here in this lane. As Kingan, okay, does have Equalizer. Is Doran going to move up as it was a teleport in from Lehens. I think that gives everything away.
Yes. When you just see a Nautilus randomly under the tower, you're like,
He looks like he's hiding.
suspicious.
Lehens is still here.
He's like, maybe if I just stand here long enough. He's not playing Teemo. He doesn't go invisible.
Ooh, Faker going to get charmed. Keria not able to quite find the angle to lock down Calyx. He's been doing just fine. I do feel like the restabilization of this game here for NONGSHIM
It's pretty good.
yeah, pretty impressive. This feels different to our first series of the day. You know? It's got a more, I mean, Rise is in the game,
more legend
but it's
feel.
got a far more legendy feel.
Yeah. That checks out. Oh, Jiwoo is in a lot of trouble.
Okay, this is feeling less legendy as he does get a phenomenal spell shield. It's just probably not going to be enough as the ignite is ticking down. One last tick, not going to be enough.
So
and he just
5
way out.
HP.
There we
5
go.
HP.
Calculated. This is legend group stuff, guys. This is legend group stuff. Obviously, you make those calculations.
Didn't even burn the flash, which I have to admit, I feel like was maybe... I mean, he lived, so what can I say? I think flashing the ult would have been the play. Did cut it a little bit close there. But ultimately, the spell shield on the wall stun was the important thing. He got that off.
The fact that he managed to get it on heroic charge when there were so many things flying around, that was the impressive part.
Yeah.
For me.
And yeah, I think for T1 must be a bit frustrating because that felt like a surefire kill, and unfortunately not able to get it.
Not even
Nice
flash.
farm. Yeah, not getting the flash.
It's
big.
ice cold. And after Jiu's early game as well, like if Jiu was playing like a god, you know, like winning all these trades, but no, he got solo killed like 5 minutes ago and still just doesn't flash in that moment. He's like, no, I'll be fine.
And also, you're playing on a team with a Jarvan. You really want to take Civer's flash whenever you can, because then it's just an easy kill for Jarvan just to press R.
Yeah.
So the fact that he holds on to that, really important.
It's almost like he knew that he was dead again if he flashes, no matter what. And so you may as well hold flash and try to live instead of investing it without Jarvan having to trade his ult for it.
Yeah, maybe that was a decision, in which case, fair play.
Honestly, if it is, that's kind of crazy because we needed a fair bit of hindsighting to come up with this as the justification for just not pressing a button in a split-second moment. But that is still going to be Hextech Dragon secured here by T1, and they retain some extra tempo on this map as well. As you can see, 1,000 gold in the lead. They've taken the first dragon, and was only their first objective of this game, but they've moved it up to 1,000 gold lead. Things are still moving further and further T1's direction.
If Doran actually commits the ult there, won't step up any further, though, won't be punished.
Looks like he is just trying to clear the wave and going for a back.
Yep. Looked like Nong Shim. Oh, unless...
Sometimes you cancel a back, and perhaps it's not a good move. Sneaky Monkey comes out of the brush, and they are all inside the circle. Gwen is not immune, and sometimes you just continue the channel, you know?
Yeah.
Greedy
What about
that
it?
one extra wave.
We've all done it before. And Faker gonna apply some pressure here. Should be able to get this plate. And that's, oh, they actually might find him.
Yeah, Lehens is coming down here as Faker can just walk into the Realm Warp, but he was right on top of Lehens. Lehens finds the ulti there as well, buys time for Jiu to make his way back, and Faker ain't flashing out of that one because Lehens was already over the wall, and Jiu grabs himself his first kill of the game. That's Feats of Warfare over to NONGSHIM as well. As now Calyx with some Foxfire here, and man, NONGSHIM pulling the vibes back.
Yeah, oh, Doran looking for Jiu.
Oh, he cancelled it. As of course I think Doran probably would have been able to, and Jiu is well and truly dead yet again. Solo killing Jiu. That is Doran's job this game, and man, is he good at it.
Yeah, he's doing it well. I just think in this situation, not really much that Jiu can do there. As for the Faker, the kill onto him. Realm Warp at rank 1 really doesn't have that much distance, and Lehens landing everything.
Yeah, just a little bit unfortunately using it on top of Lehens.
Yeah. I think in half. It's hard to say. Maybe if he'd gone...
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oner taking a lot of damage here. Lehens trying to hold on, but Keria just knocks Kingen up into the sky. Heroic Charge comes down, and Doran threads the needle as best he can. Was Kingen trying to get something off the back end, but he's not going to be able to do so. Now Lehens is in an awkward spot. Does get a max range dredge line. I don't know whether this will be getting him to safety, and it doesn't. In fact, so down goes the Nautilus as well. And T1, I mean, it was some steps forward there from Nong Shim, but T1 just kind of did some big old leapfrogging and have found another advantage.
Yep.
Okay, Faker and Gideon fighting one another. Here's a Cyclone. As once more, Jiu going to be able to find a really nice spell shield. Faker having to get himself out of the way here. And the flash follow comes through from Gideon, who picks up a solo kill on the Rise, who is around the red buff. Oner takes a Rift Herald. We're doing things everywhere right now. There is just so much stuff happening. I don't know whether it's good stuff, but it's stuff, and things happening is fun.
This game has turned so chaotic so quickly. It feels like non-stop action from both sides. Just when you're about to praise one team, yes, the other team makes a move in return. And, you know, definitely some question marks here. I'm not sure how that initial play where Lehens and King and Died came to be. Felt like they were kind of aggressing in an area where they didn't have support. And then speaking of aggressing in an area where you didn't have support, Faker just tries to 1v1 Gideon. And then the dive that came out from... We'll see how this happens. So they just walk up.
Let's make sense of it, shall we?
Okay, they walk up on Oner, kind of disrespect him a little bit, and they get locked into the fight. They don't have the backing of their team, really, though.
I mean, it is just a 1v1 between Oner and Kingin that Oner then has to flash out of the way of, but Keria does manage to finally get on top of Kingin.
Yeah, and then here... this is one of these situations where, you know, you're winning so much on one side of the map, you could have just taken that advantage. And Faker wanted to go down and cover the bot wave, and ended up in a really unfortunate position. And then here, this ended up really unfortunate because the spell shield was really early, and then it was a mistimed charge.
No!
If it was a split second later, then Jiu was just dead.
Oh, that's a real shame. So it's like a misclick, but he just got value out of it. Kind of crazy. 2 stacks left on the Cull as well, so that's going to give Nong Shim a bit of extra money back. And Feats of Strength actually going over to Nong Shim as well, as thumbs up from Lehens, going for the BM play, but the exhaust is down. I don't know whether it really did too much, but a couple of summoner spells now on cooldown here for Keria.
Maybe he's just trying to make Lehens sleepy.
Well, I don't know whether he is. He's looking pretty jazzed up in this game. And especially when Jiu is just constantly dying to Gwens and things like that, you could imagine it's probably getting Lehens relatively riled up in this game.
Specifically to Gwens, let's be clear, he's only died to Doran.
And only solo kills as well.
And only solo kills. That is his weakness, okay? We've ascertained that. That is how you take Jiu out, is you just latch Doran onto him.
Yeah, if you don't include deaths versus Gwen, he's doing incredibly well.
Yeah, he is, you know?
Like, actually, he is doing incredibly well. Kingin having a little bit of a rough time here, as the equalizer will go down just to clear out the wave, but my goodness, that's what it feels like to be hit by the kitchen sink, ladies and gentlemen. And that is, Oner grabbing credit for that kill. As Calyx taking a fair bit of damage here from Faker as well. And he will hold on to his ward as a reward. Well, won't need to reward because he saves the ward. And that's his reward.
Do you see Nong Shim pick up a dragon on the other side though, but it's a good proactive play from T1. They will get a tower off the back of it as well. And I'm waiting for the moment where something else happens, because usually we get the one play and then the other play on the other side, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it's so we were watching the DRX DNF series, and that felt like it was just it was a constant service ace game in tennis.
Yeah.
Whereas this is actual rallies. We're getting rallies, you know, like the ball's going back and forth. The other one was like ball gets hit, goes out. And then we spend a bit of time figuring out where the ball went. We move the ball back, and then we eventually try and hit it over the net again. Whereas this is definitely a little bit more like the game. We've got a bit of the rhythm going on.
You have 2 items already for Jiu with the Essence Reaver and the Navori, so...
Feels like a big spike to the Civer as well. Of course, the Infinity Edge really is the icing on top, but...
I mean, I feel like this is the point in the build where your damage hasn't really come online, but your cooldowns just don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And especially the Spell Shield has such a high amount of value in this game. A lot of abilities that you'd love to be able to use of that, and once you pop your ult, the reduction in cooldown you get when you're consistently auto-attacking is so quick. And ultimately for T1, aside from the Varus, it is a pretty short-range composition, so there should often be a target you're able to hit as the Civer.
Yep, short range or low mobility, as Varus not necessarily known for getting around the map super quick. So certainly could be something that NONGSHIM can focus on. I think we're really hitting the point where NONGSHIM's composition is getting strong though. And so being able to fight over the next couple of dragons is going to be so important. They did manage to get the second one. And the next one's going to be up in 3.5 minutes time. Nothing in the top pit, as we can see here, as that was secured by Oner. So Rift Herald can go down anywhere they'd like to put it, as Arakan has been started.
I mean, it's just after 20 minutes, it's just spawned. Of course, T1 are going to start it. This is their new 20-minute Baron.
This is how you do it. Well, Lehens is going to spot out what's going on here as Keeper's Verdict gets rid of the monkey, and now there is just nothing that NONGSHIM can really do. The Equalizer comes on through. That is going to be the smite. Locked down. Beautifully done here by T1 as there is the knock-up onto Doran. Flash out from Lehens, but the Needles are going to follow him. Now Calyx looking for his way forward. Does manage to get the charm onto Calyx here as the Realm Warp trying to get T1 out. Keria dives forward, wants to just buy some space and he'll get it. Calyx though, throws out the charm, gets some flashes, but not too much more. Faker and Gumayusi having to use those summoners to get out, but feels a bit like highway robbery, ladies and gentlemen. The Arakan, a powerful buff, and T1 just kind of took it.
T1 doing such a fantastic job. You could see their vision set up around the Baron pit and that sort of area of the, NONGSHIM's jungle leading into this was so good. They started and immediately they have the confidence. Keria moves in, is in that brush for the control ward, so he gets the ult on the Wukong. And then here, they know they got what they wanted, right? Doran plays a little bit aggressively and finds a kill into Lehens. But after that, they know that the call is, we got what we wanted, we can disengage, right? Even though Guma gets hit by the charm, he's never really under that much threat after he uses his flash. And they all know that they've got the objective, they're trying to get out. Faker flashes the charm, none of them overcommit for the fight. And it's just great work all around.
Yep, works out excellently. And so now NONGSHIM, tail between their legs just a little bit here, but 1.5 minutes on the next dragon. That's going to be their next opportunity to go for something. Interesting part is the fact that Zeus managed to pull back a gold advantage, actually, after those couple of kills that he was able to pick up in the previous skirmish, and a 1.1k lead here for Calyx on this Ahri.
Something I will say, I believe it's 30 petals to 4 in favor of T1. Sometimes you have a team takes the Arakan, and you end up like 20 to like 15 or something, but it's just like a huge advantage.
That is only 4. That's just, it's not very good. As, all right, bit of a dive here on this top side of the map as Faker could be in trouble, and by could be, I mean definitely is. Calyx tanking up this turret for way too long though, and Faker will just get back to clearing out this wave. So never you mind, they just didn't have the damage, didn't have enough buttons, and the blue guy is going to be able to walk away.
Yeah, he just picked up his Seraphs on his last back, so that extra shield came in really clutch there. Really big on the rise as well, how much mana he has, so able to stave off that dive. And in return, T1 pick up that mid lane tower, and now they're looking for the Ahri, who has no ultimate.
Well, Gideon does come on over here and just gets blast coned back by Keria, who is just going about his business. They will find the Ahri, as Lehens also finding an awkward angle. That is going to be ulti spell shielded by Gio really nicely against Keria, as Realm Warp does get Faker completely out of there. Oner has to get away as well. He'll have to flash.
Saw a moment
that was so
there.
Weird.
Yeah, Gio was thinking of flashing over for the Jarvan, but made the right call not to go for it. But now, a lot of summoners on cooldown, a lot of ultimates on cooldown, Dragon up in 5 seconds. Advantage in the game definitely towards T1, bit of a goal lead, but also that Arakan advantage in their favor. But we do see a TP from Faker coming into the top side, so not overly concerned about this Dragon, it seems.
Yeah, not really going to be forefront of their minds, but Faker may be understanding that he is the thing that people want to go towards on the map. And so he's going to distract NONGSHIM enough for them to head towards the top side. As Gwen is just going to take Dragon for free.
I think NONGSHIM really concerned that if they give up control of the top side, they could lose Baron.
I mean, Baron's up in 30 seconds time. I think they had time to be able to get over and at least test this.
Maybe their thought process was they all go bot, T1 get control of top side, and once they lose control of top, they're never getting it back.
Well, that is going to be the Cyclone connecting onto Keria, but the anchor does not land. Second Cyclone is going to be enough to put down the Poppy. As now Calyx going forward will get knocked up by the Flag and Drag, but Gumayusi's in no man's land. He's just dead. And NONGSHIM getting 2 quick kills. Doran now dashing around here looking for Kingen. Kingen trying to keep him interested so that Gio can come over and get even more. And now that the Baron has spawned and there are 2 dead on the side of T1, NONGSHIM are feeling like they have a chance to take it.
Yeah, there are some low health bars, so we'll see if T1 opt to contest this. This 5v3, looks like they're resetting the Gwen, so I think they might just go for a steal. It's risky. But Oner is alive.
Yep, Faker seeing what he can do here. Hook is going to connect there as they're looking to distract Oner. The Cataclysm comes on through. Down he goes. And that is going to mean the Baron goes over to Nong Shim as well. And I thought giving up that Drake wasn't going to work, but with the pick, oh my God, was it beautiful here from Nong Shim.
Yeah, we'll see who gets caught on the exit, though. Great charm will stop Faker, but I think Kingen might be...
Look at that pesky ward spotting him out as he's going to try and go for the empowered recall. As Doran will take a bit of damage, but in the meantime, it's just Kingen dead. So that is one Baron removed.
But still, a massive win for NONGSHIM. And ultimately, they gave her the dragon. They go for this cheeky little hide behind the terrain from Atakan, and Keria walks up. Even though the dredge line misses, that almost works in their favor, because I think T1 get baited in, like, hey, they missed their dredge line, maybe we can save Keria. Oner and Guma walk up, and Guma without flash is such a vulnerable target, especially with the extra movement speed of the Civer. They even managed to move down and save the Rumble. And then in this 5v2 situation, as Doran went for the reset, Lens lands the dredge line, even ults Faker to keep him out of the situation so he can't get a big combo off there and potentially finish off Kingen and maybe Lens himself.
So yeah, Lens on the Nautilus, he is a bit of a miracle worker when it comes to this champion. Hadn't really spoken about it so much. Like, I feel like it was only a few months ago that it was Lens' Nautilus and then the weird stuff, you know, was kind of the story for this guy. So feeling very, very comfortable at this stage. Of course, missing the dredge line wasn't exactly part of that the whole praise situation, but he is still very, very happy. Yeah, zoning.
Oh, Faker has Realm Warp. Should be able to get out.
Well, Lens knows exactly where he Realm Warps to, by the looks of things, as he did manage to find it last time around, as now he's boosting on over. Does have the Cinders. Depth Charge going to be able to knock him up, and then he picks him up with the Anchor. Another Cyclone is going to deliver Faker another death here, as 0-3-0 is unfortunately going to be on that scorecard. And T1 fighting against a Baron, and now in a 4v5 scenario. Thankfully for them, the Rumble doesn't have it. And you know, he's in the bottom lane, but still, this is going to be out of turret in mid lane.
So often we see Faker targeted in the side lane, and T1 will respond to it, or T1 will get something out of it. And this is just an example where NONGSHIM find an angle to punish. You know, he thought he could get away with the ult. The CC's there, and even more so because it's a Nautilus Wukong. Some combos of champions, you'd actually be able to channel TP out, but they have so much CC and they have enough damage to finish him off that he just ends up going down. We take stock of the items in the game at the moment. Jiwoo 3 in pocket with the IE finish. He is really starting to hit.
And this is actually, this is where the game starts to skew, right? Because we've got a crit 80 carry that does massive AoE damage in these team fights against a team composition that's quite low range, especially after Doran's outside of his Misty circle that does make things complicated for range champions. But it's against the Lethality Varus, which generally doesn't do as much consistent damage. And so if NONGSHIM can get the team fights they're looking for, the longer it goes, the incredibly more difficult it gets for T1.
I mean, what's crazy is that we have like 2-level leads. Well, it's about a level and a half between Gideon and Oner, with the fact that we have all these pedals in favor of T1, and they got the Atakan as well. And there's still so much XP in favor of NONGSHIM.
Yeah, that's actually ridiculous. How did that even happen?
Well, Baron obviously gives a lot of XP as well, but also a bit of farm lead and the more recent kills when everyone's higher level. But yeah, NONGSHIM in a great spot. Dragon Spawn in 45 would only be the second for NONGSHIM, but they are firmly establishing control over the area. They sacrificed their last dragon. It turned out great, but it seems they are very hell-bent on not sacrificing this one.
Yep, this is where they've moved their vision. This is where the opportunity is going to begin for NONGSHIM to work on this bottom side of the map. They've done their homework, and that's what we like to see. As Jiu is just being bait right now, as Calyx, he's going to take it. The Chains of Corruption come down. It's a very early Zhonya's as Faker does get hooked, but maybe it's an overextension this time for Lehans. Doran goes in. I don't know about that, as the Keeper's Verdict will knock the monkey away, and down goes the Civer. T1 find their prize, and down goes NONGSHIM. Gideon just had to watch from the sidelines as he had to vacate via a gigantic hammer. And that is 3,500 kills for Faker.
He finds it now, Realm Warping the minions. Looks like they're going to try for the end on the back of that fight. T1, give them an inch, and they'll take a mile. It's only Gideon up to see if he can try and defend 1v5.
Yep, Gumayusi going to be tanking that turret, keeps these minions alive, and T1 continuing to push. I mean, it's a little bit dicey. Lehens is up in 2 seconds, but him and Lehens, I don't even know whether they're going to be able to stop this. First Nexus turret does go down. The second one is going to evaporate. There is so much damage. Gideon goes down. Lehens cannot stop it. And there goes the game in the blink of an eye. T1 just say, nah, we win these.